Department of Justice that lied to Congress. Where are the guts in this body to stand up and say, we're not going to put up with that?
Well, it was March 25th of 2011 that President Obama said they were going to hold somebody accountable and get to the bottom of this. And so here we are, fast approaching Memorial Day 2012, and we have not lived up to what the president promised. And so, yeah, we have been preparing contempt documents. We don't have a specific date to that, but we want a resolution to this sooner rather than later.
So when I asked, what have you heard? You have not heard much, specifically anything.
Look, we got to make sure if you're going to hold the Attorney General in contempt of Congress, you got to have everything in order. We've been putting that in order. We've been more than patient. Chairman Issa has been absolutely patient and methodical in their approach to this. I wish I could give you a lock solid specific date, but gosh, we need the Democrats to join us, and we need the president to fulfill his promise if we're ever going to get to the truth.
Well, based on that amendment last week, Democrats have joined you. 381 to 41. What does that tell you?
Well, we had more than 24 Democrats in 2011 sign a letter to the president saying they encouraged the president to provide all the documents necessary to get to the bottom of this. Just last week on the floor, as you mentioned, I had an amendment that says you cannot use funds from taxpayers to lie to Congress, even though they have. Remember, February 4th, 2011, they lied to Congress. They sent a demonstrably false letter from the Department of Justice to the United States Congress, specifically Senator Grassley. Later, months later, more than 9 months later, they had to rescind that letter because it was a lie. And so we've got a dead Border Patrol agent, got thousands of weapons that are unaccounted for. I think this meets the standard of making sure that we get to the bottom of it. Well, one of the concerns is that they have been lying and covering up what happened in Fast and Furious. And what this does is I think it will withhold funds from the Department of Justice to do those activities. We still had 40 Democrats who said, of course you should be able to use taxpayer money to lie to Congress. Of course you should. That's how ridiculous this is. But if they do that, if they use these funds to lie to Congress, and we can demonstrate they lie to Congress, then you've got a whole other set of charges that can be laid on top of what's already there.
One more thing on this. 22 categories in this subpoena that you're looking for answers for when you have questions about. Yeah. Of the 13 categories, we are told by Republicans that no documents have been provided. An additional 9 categories considered far from compliant. We just heard you on the House floor say Americans should be embarrassed by this. Why embarrassed?
We have a dead Border Patrol agent. We have a government who knowingly to the drug cartels gave thousands of weapons. We have a president who on March 25th, 2011 promised we'd get to the bottom of this. We haven't. You have people at the senior level of the Department of Justice who've been promoted, given awards and bonuses along the way. Nobody's been held accountable. And it's embarrassing because this should not be a partisan issue. We're trying to get to the truth of this. Eric Holder called the Fast and Furious fundamentally flawed. We got to be able to solve that so it never ever happens again. And you have people who made these ridiculous decisions still in the senior most portions of the government. Think of Lanny Breuer, who's at the head of the Department of the Criminal Division. We haven't had justice here. We haven't